Murphy's Builder Supply is where you need to go for all your home improvement projects and hardware needs. They've been serving folks in this area since 1946. Murphy's offers some products and services that you may not know about. They now sell ammunition, both bullets and shells. Murphy's also sells personalized tags for dog collars. They build customized screens for windows and doors. Murphy's can rekey locks, and of course they can make keys. They cut glass for windows, plus Murphy's has monthly doorbuster specials. Check their Facebook page to see what's on sale. Murphy's Builder Supply, 156 Northeast Broad Street, Jessup.
Damon's Famous Fingers and Wings restaurant in Jessup is now open for business, practicing social distancing, but still serving that great food that Damon's is famous for. Come inside or come through the drive-thru, but Damon's is open inside and welcomes back its customers. The menu's the same, the service is fast, and the food is fantastic, and the sauces remain the same, mild, wild, insane, or inferno. The number is the same, 588-WING, 588-9464. Damon's Restaurant on West Cherry Street in Jessup. Dining room now open for business. Come on in and enjoy a great meal today.
A bank that puts people first. First Southern Bank, investing in you since 1907. Serving Jessup, Patterson, and Waycross. A true community bank led by experienced neighborhood bankers that live and work in our community. Offering competitive loan options for commercial and consumer clients. Stop by the Jessup branch and meet branch manager Mandy Yeomans and her fantastic team. Call 912-810-1540. Let First Southern Bank be your bank of choice. First Southern Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
8 o'clock on this Friday morning here at the Big Dog WIFO. World famous Butch and Bob Show, brought to you by Murphy Builder Supply, First Southern Bank, and Damon's Famous Fingers and Wings. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Jonathan. You know, it was a busy week here in Wayne County. Governor Brian Kemp in town on Monday at a luncheon. We brought you his interview, but he spoke for about 16 minutes. Buddy Carter was going to call in today, but he has to reschedule to Tuesday, so we thought we'd just let you listen to the governor's comments. Talked about a lot of topics during the luncheon. So again, here are the comments that Brian Kemp made Monday afternoon here at BMAX Restaurant in Jessup.
That's one thing that's really helped us, or helped me, on the coronavirus response. I mean, you just cannot imagine the number of business people, industry groups, associations, nonprofits like Kemps and hospital CEOs that I'm constantly on, elected officials that I'm constantly on the phone with, to kind of really see what's happening in the real world. Because it's easy to just sit and look at these numbers behind a computer somewhere and say, you should do this, this, and this. But we have, hospital CEOs telling you we cannot shut the economy down again. We'll lose the hospital. Financially, we have to figure out a way to keep being able to do elective surgeries, and it's important for people's health for them to be able to go in and do these screenings. And that's one thing that I've really been fighting hard for these folks that are saying you need to do this and you need to shut back down. They are not thinking about the negative effects of our kids not being in school, them getting, many for our at-risk children getting the nutrition that they need, the mental health issues that they're dealing with, child abuse, sexual abuse, human trafficking. And I'm talking to the Atlanta hospital CEOs. That's what they're telling me, is we got to stay open if at all possible. And then the other thing they're saying is, the last 2 weeks we've been dealing with gunshot wounds in the hospital, which is, a whole nother story as we've been battling and working with, quite honestly, demonstrators and protesters, but then battling the vigilantes that are there for a completely different reason. And I will tell you that we made a lot of headway since I called up the National Guard to help us protect the mansion, the Capitol, the State Patrol headquarters, and the Georgia Emergency Management headquarters, World Congress Center, and other state assets. It's freed up a lot of our state patrol to be able to be on the ground in Atlanta and really bring some law and order, Sheriff, back to the streets of Atlanta. I mean, when you have people walking down the street, citizens that are armed, stopping cars in the middle of the road doing a road check, I mean, that's unacceptable. When you have 8-year-old children that are getting shot, and the investigators go to the scene and they pick up 100 shell cases, not from that shooting, but from where they have been shooting down there for days. But our troopers had a great couple of days over the weekend. We'll have some of that coming out here pretty soon. But but I think they were involved in 12 car chases over the weekend. They arrested people that had drugs, stolen guns, stolen vehicles. Some of our South Georgia folks were up there assisting us this weekend, and evidently there was this motorcycle four-wheeler group that comes out on the weekends and just wreaks havoc all in Atlanta. Well, the APD that has a no-chase rule. So the troopers have quit engaging them because we can't get the city to help us. Well, the South Georgia guys didn't know that.
That's right.
They're not used to engaging. So they engaged. They helped a lot of people exit off four-wheelers on Atlanta Street and escorted them to jail on Saturday night. So it's making a real difference up there from a public safety standpoint. But, you know, I just appreciate y'all's support. I mean, when you look around the state, we're holding our own. The number of cases definitely going up, which is concerning. Our hospitalizations have been going up, which is the most concerning thing. That's really the number I watch every day, and we're in constant contact with them. We're augmenting staffing where they have staff that get sick. We're standing up additional facilities now in case we have or a need for surge capacity. And we're not doing that because hospitals are out of room. We're doing that to allow them to continue to do elective surgeries, cancer screenings, treatments, hip, knees, all those things that people need that is good financially for the hospital and good for our citizens' health. So that is where we are right now. I'm very hopeful that over the next week or so, people continue to do the right thing, like wearing their masks. And I know it's awkward, especially as hot as it is down here right now. But if everybody, it's like the Surgeon General said when we were on our tour, if everybody would just do this for a couple of weeks, it'll flatten the curve again. We'll get the numbers going in the right direction. You know, it'll ease up the burden on our hospitals just a little bit, and we can keep, you know, methodically reopen the economy, which we have done. And, you know, the fact of the matter is the national press talks about, well, we reopened too early, and now we're having a spike in cases. Well, we reopened over 75 days ago. You know, the incubation period is 14 days. So when the reopening happened, you know, at the end of April, first part of May, we should have seen spikes, you know, the end of May, first part of June. And that is not what happened. What happened was the protest started, people saw all the demonstrators and protesters out, so I think it sent the signal that, hey, nobody's worried about social distancing anymore, even though some of them had masks on, a lot of them didn't. So it just kind of got that mindset. But that wasn't the only thing. Memorial Day weekend, I know y'all probably heard this because I did, but down at St. Simon's was probably the best Memorial Day weekend they've ever had. People kind of let their guard down. You ended up having a lot of restaurant hospitality workers that started getting sick. And from what I've heard from the restaurant folks is it wasn't necessarily happening in the restaurant. It was happening when they were socializing after they got off work. And then they come back and infect everybody. So you have to really look at the details of where the infections are coming from. We are seeing some from churches. We're still battling the nursing home situation because as people went out on Memorial Day or on July 4th, they go back to work in the nursing homes. They're asymptomatic. If you're not doing the exact right things, it can create problems. So we're dealing with that. We're seeing a little bit of issues at some daycare centers, but we're having several places around the state where we're dealing with issues in the Latino community. And, you know, I'm not telling you guys anything you don't know. We've been chasing immigrant farm workers all over this part of the world for over a month now. Chasing is probably not the best word there. We're following to support the farms and those individuals. Many of them are asymptomatic, feeling bad, but they're positive. So we just need them to stay on the farm, not go in town and infect other people, have somebody buying their groceries. And the farmers have been great working with us. Commissioner Black has been great working with us. And most of these groups have as well. So we've been, you know, dealing with that. And then in places like Gwinnett, Gainesville, Dalton, and a few other places, just because of the close living quarters in that community, and them not being as educated on COVID. You have one person that gets sick, they go home, and then the whole family's infected. So we're doing a lot of messaging. John King, our insurance commissioner, who was born in Mexico, is the first Hispanic constitutional officer over in the state of Georgia that I appointed several months ago. He's done a great job. He's going around and helping us messaging in those communities. He has a lot of trust with them to make sure they know, they don't need to be afraid to go get tested. They need to wear a mask if they're infected when they get home, try to isolate them. We're helping isolate. And so despite what you're hearing, we had good responses going for all these things, and I certainly appreciate the opportunity in regards to that. We just got to keep buckling down. So my message to you guys is lead by example, like you're doing today. Spread people out, wear your mask, but you don't have to lose your mind when you take it off and eat right quick. It's okay. And I think that's what I'm trying to instill to people. So we have to do what we're saying, but don't overreact. And we have to learn how, like David Plant said, we got to learn how to deal with the virus. It's going to be here until we get a vaccine or a treatment. That's going to take a little while. I'll just end real quick, Mayor, with Senator Loeffler. I couldn't be more pleased with how our U.S. senators doing. And you can forget all the politics that's gone on, but I'm just telling you, people that I've known for a very long time that worked on Johnny Isaacson's staff for decades, I've bumped into them and just in a catch-up kind of hello, how you doing conversation. I've had several of them say, you appointed us a good U.S. Senator. She's doing a great job in Washington. She's hard-working. She's smart. She's just doing great. And we think you made the right decision. Politically, she's been thrown to the wolves early on because she hadn't been in politics. She's an outsider, and she got attacked immediately. And if you really kind of think back, it's a lot like the president got attacked. It's a lot like David Perdue got attacked. But the good thing about Kelly is she doesn't owe anybody in Washington, D.C. anything. What she owes is all us something. And that's really why she's there. And if you really listen to her and hear her story, she wanted to do this because she had lived the American dream. I mean, she literally grew up in a town a lot smaller than this on a family farm, and her dad was making her, and I just heard her say this Wednesday when Marty and Amy Porter and I were at two events with her in middle Georgia. She said, my dad used to make me clock in when I was 11 years old when I was working on the farm because he was teaching me the value of the dollar. She waitressed her way through high school and college and followed her dreams to the financial markets, ended up in Atlanta. And then her husband and her and their group, they bought the New York Stock Exchange. I mean, she's gotten attacked for being involved with the New York Stock Exchange. We ought to be proud that somebody like that has lived. You had a Central Illinois farm girl, a guy from Wisconsin, another one from Alabama, and I can't remember where their fourth partner's from. It may have been Atlanta or Florida or North Carolina. But it wasn't anywhere close to New York. They bought the New York Stock Exchange. And they created thousands of jobs in Atlanta at the Intercontinental Exchange. And so she has a great story to tell. And she wants to preserve that freedom and that opportunity for this country and for this state. And it's under attack, quite honestly, right now, by really some of the more left Democrats that are out there. And, she's doing great. Y'all are going to see that when she gets here. And I just urge you not to believe a lot or to get into too much of all the political back and forth, but really look at the person she is, the record, and how hard she's working. And, politically for us, quite honestly, as a party, when you look at the statewide ticket that's going to be on the ballot in November when the president's going to be up for re-election, she's the only female on there. And when you look at the Republican Party right now, we have a female U.S. Senator, and we have the first Hispanic constitutional officer ever in the state of Georgia. And, those are the kind of things that we have to do as Republicans, continue to reach out and be the party for everyone. To be the party for the hardworking Georgian that's out there, for the entrepreneurs, America, I think a lot of what's going on, the angst that's out there, is because a lot of people in the middle class and less than that have lost hope. And that's what we need to be the partner for. I mean, that's why I ran on strengthening rural Georgia, and that's why I continue to show up in places like Jessup, Georgia, because it matters. And I was telling Dale Keith, we've done some great economic development deals in rural parts of our state over the last year and a half. It's incredible. And we're continuing to push hard on that every single day. If we can ever get through this damn COVID-19 virus, we're going to do even more of that. But thank y'all for taking the time to be here today. I don't know if you want to do questions or what.
Yeah, if anybody got any questions you want to ask the governor, all that. But I do want to make one comment, and I want to thank Representative Werkheiser and Representative Meeks had sent a thing that he couldn't make it, and Senator Tillery. But I don't know if you really realize, but the Career Academy that you applied for, that got the stuff for over in Baxter in Appleton County, is going to help us over here in Wayne County also. So it's really a 4-county place and there's some of the folks that have been here talked about that academy being put over there, and so we really appreciate the funding and all for that, and that's going to help rural Georgia, and that's what we all talk about and talk to Dale all the time. We'd love to get businesses here, but you got to have the workforce for it.
Yeah, that's right.
But
Bill and Stephen and Blake, y'all have a great local delegation. They were plugging hard on that, and I was telling Bob earlier when I was doing a little radio interview with him. The budget this year, even though it's a budget where we're cutting, it's a lot better than we thought it was going to be. And, Blake did a great job, Chairman England, and there was a lot of collaboration. And it's a good budget. We put money back in education, we put money back in healthcare, we put money back in the public safety. And that's really what state government should be focused on. And then the bond package, it is going to help every single area in our state, and that was by design, to focus on money in transportation, bridges, and infrastructure, but also in maintenance and repairs for a lot of state facilities and buildings. That money will spread all throughout Georgia. The people will be buying equipment, you'll have labor that's going to be installing that. And we felt like that was some of the quickest ways that we could get the money working back in all parts of our state, versus, building another new building that you have to then, spend money, opening, operating, maintaining. We felt like in this time, it was better for us to focus on what we can get into the system quick and put people to work, but also that doesn't have a lot of overhead costs as we kind of battle our way through the COVID economy.
And again, those comments of Governor Brian Kemp, again, who was in town this past Monday at BMAX Restaurant. He was on the island over the weekend. Again, he and the mayor of Jessup, David O'Keefe, good friends, so you called the mayor, set the luncheon up, and met with several people. So, again, it was a busy week. Had the governor in town on Monday. Kelly Loeffler, U.S. Senator, on Tuesday at the farmers market. So, again, pretty interesting week here in Wayne County. Couple of final notes before we wrap up the Butch and Bob Show. Again, don't forget graduation tomorrow at JC Stadium. Again, they're having the practice at this time as we speak, but the ceremony is set for tomorrow. We'll have that for you here on Big Dog Country, FM 105.5. Also, the school system has sent out a lot of information on their website about the opening of schools. Again, teachers report August 3rd, kids report August 10th. So, again, if you would like to read that information, there's quite a bit of information released by the school system for the reopening of schools. So, again, go to that website, and they've got all the information. Also, a reminder, this coming Monday is early voting for the August 11th primary runoff election here in Wayne County. Of course, the attention is on the Republican nomination for sheriff. Again, the two candidates, incumbent Sheriff John Carter, challenger Chuck Mosley. Again, we had challenger Chuck Mosley in the studio yesterday on the world-famous Butch and Bob Show. We'll have Sheriff John Carter in on Monday, but the early voting gets underway on Monday, runs for 3 weeks up to Friday, August the 7th. Then the election day is Tuesday, August the 11th. And a reminder, this is a runoff election. Therefore, whichever party you cast your ballot for back in the June 9th election will be the party you will receive a ballot for in the August 11th primary runoff election. Voters who voted nonpartisan in the June 9th election will be able to choose a Democrat or Republican ballot in a runoff. And if you did not vote in the June 9th election, you are eligible to vote in the runoff here on August the 11th. So keep that in mind. That's going to do it for today's World Famous Butch and Bob Show. Jonathan, have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend, Bob. Don't forget graduation tomorrow.
Graduation. We said that. We said
8 o'clock right here on WIFO.
Right.
Yes, want to make that clear that we will have it for you on WIFO FM, and go to the Wayne County School site to find that as well.
And Braves a week away.
Yeah, week away from today. Braves baseball here on the Big Dog WIFO. Have a great weekend, Bob. See you on Monday. World Famous Butch and Bob Show on WIFO, brought to you by Murphy Builder Supply, First Southern Bank, and Damon's Famous Fingers and Wings.
Since 1946, Murphy's Builder Supply has been serving the folks of Jessup, Wayne, and surrounding counties with quality products and knowledgeable service. Matter of fact, they feel they sell service first to make sure you get exactly what you need for your home improvement projects. And with each employee at Murphy's being there for 10 years or more, you know you're talking with someone with the experience to help you with building supplies, tools, paint, and all the things you need from a full-service hardware store. The best choice in home improvement is Murphy's Builder Supply, 156 Northeast Broad Street, Jessup. A bank that puts people first. First Southern Bank, investing in you since 1907. Serving Jessup, Patterson, and Waycross. A true community bank led by experienced neighborhood bankers that live and work in our community. Offering competitive loan options for commercial and consumer clients. Stop by the Jessup branch and meet branch manager Mandy Yeomans and her fantastic team. Call 912-810-1540. Let First Southern Bank be your bank of choice. First Southern Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Damon's Famous Fingers and Wings restaurant in Jessup is now open for business, practicing social distancing, but still serving that great food that Damon's is famous for. Come inside or come through the drive-thru, but Damon's is open inside and welcomes back its customers. The menu's the same, the service is fast, and the food is fantastic, and the sauces remain the same, mild, wild, insane, or inferno. The number is the same, 588-WING, 588-9464. Damon's Restaurant on West Cherry Street in Jessup, dining room now open for business. Come on in and enjoy a great meal today.